In Montreal, Canada, DATAWIND is a leading developer of wireless web access products and services. DATAWIND is now widely known for its development of the Akash, an inexpensive tablet computer developed in conjunction with the Indian Ministry of Human Resource Development, and now seen as a way for the country to leapfrog the problems of educating its large population. Suneet sir has 20 years of experience as a serial entrepreneur, having previously launched 2 successful companies that conducted initial public offerings on the NASDAQ stock market. In his ventures, he has managed a team of over 250 professionals across 8 countries. The innovative products and technologies created through these ventures have received numerous awards and accolades. Please give a big round of applause for Sir Suneet.
Professor Acharya, Professor Biswas, Anish Reddy, and future captains of industry. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for letting me share with you my journey. I've always felt that engineering forms the right base for captains of industry. Engineering gives you the critical thinking skills that are necessary not only to deal with technical issues, but to solve business problems. Engineering forms the right base for entrepreneurship. It was inspiring listening to Anish's presentation, because in about 2 or 3 years, he's learned all the right lessons that's taken me 20 years to learn. And I think the credit for that goes to people like Professor Biswas and the entrepreneurial cell that's been created here. There is no such thing at the University of Toronto, where I went to school. So I certainly recommend to all the students that are here today, take advantage of those resources while you're still here. Let me go through lessons I've learned in my journey in this process. It was interesting to hear Anish talk about advantages of being able to hire people because we're in the middle of a recession. Irrespective if the markets are expanding or contracting, irrespective if the economy is booming or in a recession, the opportunities always exist. Think of the waves in an ocean. The same waves could have somebody drowning in them, and the same waves could have somebody surfing on them. It's your waves, and you decide how to take advantage of those. I have a friend who does really well in the stock market, and I always ask him if he's not doing well and the market's down. And he says it has nothing to do with the market going up or down. It's about trends and knowing which trend is in which direction and mapping that trend. Your opportunity always exists. One of the most important things I learned was the ability to embrace failure. The ability to take risk and willing to fail is very, very important. To me, that's a prerequisite for entrepreneurship. It's a prerequisite for success. When we hire people, if they've had entrepreneurial background and they've failed, we're more likely to hire those than those that have never failed. Unfortunately, in the Indian environment, failure is considered very negative. In Silicon Valley, If you had two startups and they both failed, you're considered experienced. Be willing to fail. Set goals that are so high that it's okay if you don't achieve them. If you achieve your goals, then you set them too low. And don't let any obstacles stop that journey. If you're passionate about something, if you believe in it, then continue along that path. And most important, continue along that path. Let me give you the first step of my entrepreneurial journey. I graduated in 1990 from University of Toronto. And in those days, there was no internet. Fax machines were the cutting-edge technology of the day. And I'm a civil engineer. And we discovered that there were no fax machines for civil engineering documents, for large format documents. So we decided that that was an opportunity. You have to find a point of pain, and then you've got to find a solution for it. The fact that people that needed to send engineering documents had to cut them into small strips sent through regular fax was a point of pain. And we decided to create, my brother and myself, a wide format facsimile machine. But creating a product wasn't sufficient. We had to figure out how to sell it. These were very large format fax machines, industrial sized devices that in 1991 and 1992 cost $40,000, and you had to buy two at a time. Our first 6 months after we had product ready were very difficult. We got 0 sales. We couldn't find anybody to take advantage of what we created. And when we went to investors to try to find funding for it, they didn't value immediate gratification. They didn't value the benefit of having that document from one end to the other, and felt overnight couriers would be good enough. So we decided it was necessary to create awareness. That problem, that adversity, allowed us the solution. We went to the Guinness Book of Records and we said, how about recognizing this as the world's biggest fax? That gimmick created so much publicity that we had a real business off the ground. In 1992, with no marketing background, with no PR background, and no PR firm, we got 600 articles and 600 papers over a period of 6 months. And we started getting orders. We started getting orders from industries and areas that we had no idea about. A little bit of awareness generated a huge amount of orders. And the result was that in 1995, within 3 years of this start, we went public in the NASDAQ stock market. Market capitalizations went up, went down. If we looked at the peak and we thought our net worth was $150 million, we were very excited. If we looked at the bottom and it was only a fraction of that, it may have seemed like a failure, but certainly from where we started, it was a significant success in our minds. That was the first phase of our journey. All amounted to taking risk. And my one regret, that I never had a real job. Right out of university, I got into my first project, my first journey, and I never had the opportunity to have a real job. But it continued from that process onwards. Widecom, over the years, created a whole variety of different products. From fax machines, we ended up making wide format scanning and printing equipment. We actually set up a manufacturing facility in Noida in India and made large format scanning equipment and sold that around the world. The second phase started from a different kind of an experience. I was at a dentist's office and saw an interesting article in a magazine and decided to rip that page out. Unfortunately, while I was ripping that page out, the dentist walked in. It scared the hell out of me. Here was somebody who was going to work on my teeth and didn't seem very happy that I was ripping his magazine. We decided that there should be pocket scanners where we could take documents, scan them, put them in our pocket, and walk away with them. And discovered there was no such product on the market. So we decided to create a product for portable scanning. We had an imaging background. We developed imaging kind of products over the years and decided to create handheld scanners. This was a product we created. You can put on a piece of paper, scan, put in your pocket, and walk away. I discovered there are applications during the exams also. We didn't care that. And the reaction, of course, from investors and distributors and others was negative. They said HP will crush you. How can you be in a consumer electronics business? Because commercialization requires a huge amount of promotion. And we felt there was an application. We decided, based on our own resources, to create a product, and we decided to take it to market. And that was our second product. We went back to Guinness to get them to recognize it as the world's thinnest scanner. Moving forward, we created a whole variety of products around it, and we decided to commercialize it. Today, 12 years after we created this product, there is no Chinese competitor to this till today. There was no Chinese competitor to the wide fax machines either, except the internet killed those in those days. The third phase of our journey was the experience with the mobile internet. The idea that you could have the internet anytime, anywhere seemed very exciting to us. And every product that we tried gave us a horrible experience. It would take 3, 4, 5 minutes a page. And when we would ask people why the page didn't look like what it looked like on my desktop and why it took so long, people that were in the industry, they would say it's pictures. Pictures take up a lot of space. Pictures make it take so long. And that's the problem. But by the year 2000, we'd already received 38 US patents on a variety of different technologies that we developed around imaging, and we knew that answer was wrong. We knew, and we could calculate on our fingers, that if it was all that I was sending was a picture, that wouldn't take 4 minutes. If all I was sending was a picture across that network, I should be able to send it a lot faster. And around that idea, we created a web delivery platform that became DATAWIND, and decided that we wanted to focus on delivering the internet for the masses. We decided to bring the internet anytime, anywhere, and we felt that that's where the large opportunity was. And of course, there were a lot of naysayers. Anytime you want to position a product for the masses, the reaction is, what kind of business is it to go create a product for somebody that can't pay for it? It doesn't sound like a great business idea. It'll be too small a market. How can there be demand for that level of customer? I remember a venture capitalist burst out laughing in a meeting, saying, Sardar Sahib wants to sell internet devices to the rickshawalas. Remember, I'm sure there were people that laughed out at people pitching mobile phone products and services, thinking, Mittal Sahib wants to sell mobile phones to the rickshawala. World changes.